All right, so we're beginning here in reclined bound ankle pose, soles of the feet together, knees open out to the sides. If the hips are a little tight or they resist being in this posture, you can take a block outside of each of your knees or your thighs. And just have a strap nearby because we'll use that in a moment. So your arms can be wherever is the most comfortable for you right now, whether that's resting on your body or out by your sides. And just take a few moments to let your body settle into this shape, letting go of any holding you might notice in your glutes, outer hips, outer thighs. And gently close your eyes and just take a few moments to scan through your whole body, noticing how you feel right now. Acknowledging your physical energy level and anything that you notice going on in your body this morning. And notice where your mood is, where your thoughts are. Let these first few minutes just be a time to practice letting go of our attachment to our thought process and just noticing how we feel in the body, paying attention to what you're experiencing right now, even though it's not a lot. And start to notice the movement and the sensation of your own breath. Noticing the rise and fall and where the body expands and contracts with each breath cycle. Take 5 more deep breaths here in this posture. And after those 5 breaths, you can gently close the knees and plant the feet flat on the floor. You can float the eyes open here if you like. We're going to adjust the feet about hip width apart and cross the right ankle to the left thigh for reclined pigeon pose. Gently press that knee forward away from your face. And if you want a little more intensity, bring the legs in, reach through the space and hold the left hamstring. And we're going to take a little rocking motion side to side. Just easing into the right hip, noticing how this feels this morning. And if you took the leg, we're going to let go of it and place the foot down. You can uncross the ankle and switch sides. Left ankle to the right thigh, gently press that knee forward away from you here. And you can stay or take the second phase of the pose again. If you're holding on to the back of the right thigh, just start rocking a little bit, shifting the weight side to side, which massages your SI joints, but also just helps to work open any tightness in the outer left hip. And then go ahead and release. You can uncross the left ankle. We're going to bring the right knee to the chest and slide the left leg down on the mat, getting active through that leg as if you were pushing the foot against a wall. And allow the right knee to draw close to your upper body. We're going to come into reclined lunge pose. Guide the right knee and thigh wider than your rib cage. Then lift up a little bit. We're going to reach inside of the leg and take the heel into the hand and lie back down. And you can stay here if this is already intense in your hamstring and hip. Or second phase is pressing the foot against the hand and lifting the shin bone. So the shin is pointing up toward the ceiling. And there is an upward energy of the foot pushing into the hand, and match that with a downward energy of your arm pulling down against the foot, shoulder trying to come down to the floor. Good. Keep the left leg strong and straight on the mat. Couple more breaths here. And the next time you exhale, lower the heel and let go of it and release the right leg down to the ground. Just notice how that side feels compared to your left. Adjust your hips if you need to. And then we'll switch, bringing the left knee to the chest and actively reaching forward through the right leg. Good. Keeping the breath nice and steady. Let's widen the left knee out to the side a little. Lift your head and shoulders and reach inside the leg to take the heel with the left hand and lie back down. And you can stay here or press the foot up against the hand. Reclined lunge. A few more breaths. Keep reaching actively through the right leg down onto the floor. And on an exhalation, lower the left foot and let go of it and release that leg to the ground. Let's grab our strap here. We're going to take our hamstring release sequence and bring the right knee to the chest. Left leg is active on the mat. And we'll lift up and place the strap around the ball of the foot. Lie back down once you have it in place there. And extend that leg. Good. So adjust the length of the strap depending on how this feels. My hamstrings are really tight today because I went for a run earlier this week, which I haven't done in like 2 months. So my legs are paying the price for that. So if they're on the tighter side, you want to go longer and looser with this, longer and lower. If they're on the looser side, you can go higher with the leg and shorter with the strap. Good. Squeeze every muscle on the front side of the leg. So fire up your quads and all the muscles on the front side of your thigh and the muscles on the front side of the shin. Feel your ankle flex. Good. Nice tight grip on the strap. Just like the previous pose, we're pulling downward through the arms, trying to keep the shoulders on the floor, and then resisting that energy by pushing upward through the foot and leg. And then let's hold the strap in the right hand only. Left arm can relax on the ground and slowly open the right leg out to the side, finding a hip opening here and stabilizing the rest of your body by engaging your core. So lower back, lower abdominals. Keep the left leg and hip on the mat as we open here. And whatever range of motion you get to this morning, we're going to hold there about 5 more deep breaths. And with an exhalation, contract the right thigh, lift that leg, and change hands. Left hand's going to hold the strap, right arm can release, and cross this leg over your body toward the left side of the mat, keeping it really straight. The left leg can relax a little bit and rotate if needed. And stop at whatever point the intensity is enough for you. Really working length into the outer hip, outer thigh, IT band. You might even feel it down the outside of the calf muscle. Good. The next time you inhale, lift the leg back up and take both hands on the strap. And we're just going to do a little core engagement here. Tuck your chin toward the chest. The next time you exhale, draw your navel down toward the floor and roll your spine up off the mat, drawing the nose closer to the knee. Good. Hold here a few breaths. And on an exhalation, roll back down. Good. Bend the knee toward you, remove the strap from the foot, and release that right leg down to the mat. You can adjust your hips if you need to, and again, just notice the difference between sides. And we'll switch when you're ready. Bring the left knee in and set that strap up around the ball of the foot. And then extend that leg once you have it in place, adjusting to accommodate the length of your hamstrings this morning. And once you've settled in, find those two opposing energies, really pull down against your strap, shoulders connected to the floor as you push up against it with the foot. Keep the breath slow and steady here. And then gather the strap in the left hand only. Right arm can relax on the floor as we slowly open the left leg out to the left side. And engage through your core and keep pressing the right hip and leg against the mat, stabilizing the body here with the hip opening. The next time you exhale, contract that leg and bring it back up to the center. Change hands. Left arm can relax on the floor as we cross the leg over the hips any amount. Your right leg can relax a little bit on the mat. And then inhale, lift the leg back up to the center. Holding the strap in each of your hands here. We're going to tuck the chin toward the chest. Exhale deeply and draw your navel down toward the ground as you roll your spine up off of the mat. Drawing the nose closer to the knee. Keeping the abdominals contracted here to support the position, but still breathing deeply. And the next time you exhale, roll down, release. Good. Bend the knee and remove the strap from the foot. You can let that go. You can put the strap aside. And then we're going to bring both knees into the chest and rock on the spine a few times to come up off of the back. So tuck the chin and gradually build momentum here, maybe 3 or 4 of these to eventually roll yourself upright. And then from here, we're going to come into table pose. So you can adjust yourself on the mat. If you had a blanket for your head, move that aside and line up the palms directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips. On an inhalation, lift the tailbone, chest and chin, looking forward or up. Exhale, drop the tailbone, tuck the chin. And again, inhale, deeply arch the spine. Exhale, deeply round the spine. And just continue back and forth, moving through both directions here, coordinating with your own breath. And the next time you exhale can be your last round. Return to a neutral table pose. Extend your arms out in front of you and let your armpits and chest press toward the floor. Hips stay lifted for half down dog. Become active in the arms, so feel your triceps contract to straighten the elbows. Push firmly against the palms and lengthen the spine. The next time that you inhale, lift yourself back up and walk the hands back and under the shoulders. Let's take the right foot in between the hands for a low lunge. Feel free to take blocks underneath you if the floor feels a little bit far away. Slide the left knee farther back and sink down into your hips here. Good. From here, the next time you inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Coming to a low crescent lunge, drawing the spine back in line over the hips and lengthening upward from the lumbar all the way out the crown of the head. Good. From here, we're going to twist using the strength of your own core. On an exhalation, rotate to the right and split the arms open. Right arm back, left arm forward. Each time you breathe out, see if you can get a little more rotation from the navel all the way up the spine. And you can look wherever is comfortable. That might be straight ahead. That might be rotating the head to look over your back arm. Good. The next time you inhale, start to take away the twist, face forward again, and reach up once more. Coming nice and low into the hips. Good. We're going to take both hands inside of the right leg. Exhale the hands to the floor. Adjust the right foot maybe an inch or two to the side. Turn it out and let that knee fall away from your shoulder here. Now have you stay on your left hand and put your right hand gently at the inside of the right knee and just give it a gentle press away from you. Don't want you to push or force beyond your normal range of motion, but just give it a little bit of feedback and just allow that thigh bone to rotate away from your upper body, turning the hip out. Good, let's gently release that one. You can toe heel that foot back to the middle of the mat and take the right hand on the floor again. Let's lift the back knee up off of the ground and from here, step to plank pose. Bring the feet and legs together and line the shoulders up over the palms. We're going to hold here several breaths to build some warmth in the body. So squeeze the legs together, engage the core, and really push down against your mat. Try and keep the breath slow and even as your body starts to feel the effort. And if you need a break, you can always put the knees on the floor. Rather you take a rest than let the structure of the pose start to suffer. So if you feel your low back dipping, better to just put the knees down and pause. Good, a few more breaths. And exhale, knees to the floor. We're going to come to half dog again. Extend the arms out in front of you and press the chest down toward the mat, extending the spine. Good. Inhale, lift back up, and we'll set that up for the other side. So step your left foot in between the hands, finding that low lunge, knee over the ankle. Slide your right knee farther back. Good. And take a few breaths here. Notice if this side is any different from the previous. And then on an inhalation, let's lift up to that low crescent lunge, drawing the arms back, the spine back over the hips, and then lifting up so that we're not sinking into the lower back. Good. With a strong exhalation, we're going to twist to the left, rotate from your navel all the way up, and split the arms open. Right arm forward, left arm back. Good. Stay here and breathe. On an inhalation, slowly rotate forward, reach up again, and release down into the hips a bit more. And then both hands are going to come down inside of the left foot. You can move it over an inch or two, turn it out at a slight angle, and let the knee fall away from you. Your right hand is going to stay on the mat. Bring your left hand gently inside of the knee, and just a little bit of pressure, just to see if we can find the edge of the range of motion. Good, a few more breaths here. And then release, just kind of toe heel that foot back to the middle of the mat, left hand down. We're gonna lift the back knee up, high lunge, and then again, plant the palms, step into plank pose. Feet and legs together, shoulders over the palms. Let's take 5 deep breaths here, holding strong through the core and lower back. One more breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Once you're on the floor, point the toes, shoulder blades back. Inhale, roll up to cobra. It can be low or high. Exhale, roll down, let it go. Twice more. Inhale, coming up to cobra. Exhale to release. And again, inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, let it go. Tuck the toes, inhale, press to the knees. Exhale the hips back, lift up, downward facing dog. Adjust your stance so your feet are a few inches apart, palms are shoulder width apart, and begin to really press back. Chest and armpits down toward the floor as the hips lift. Good, find a single focal point here, steady, smooth breath, and try and really let go through the back of the neck. The next time you inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet to the front of the mat. Place the hands against the shins and inhale to the flat back position. Exhale, fold over the legs. Let's take that twice more. Inhale, get long through the arms and spine. Exhale, fold and let it go. Once more, inhale. Exhale, release. Let's stay here, letting the head, neck, and shoulders hang down. Feel the weight of your upper body come forward over the balls of the feet slightly so the hips lift up more. When we're coming up to stand, feel yourself come through the flat back position. So we're supporting with the strength of the low back on the way up. Inhale, lift the chest, open the arms, send hips forward to come the rest of the way to stand. Exhale, release the arms. Okay, we're going to do a few rounds of sun salutations. Come to the front of the mat if you're not quite there. And begin on an inhalation breath. Reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, walk to plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push up to plank or table. Exhale, lift back to down dog. Adjust your stance, and then settle into the pose, at least 5 breaths. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Second round, inhale, begin. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, plank or table. Exhale, down dog. Adjust, settle in, and breathe. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, step to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Once more through. Inhale, begin. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up. Exhale, lift back. Downward facing dog. Steady your gaze. Steady your breath. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. We're going to take one round of Sun Series B, adding chair pose and warrior one. We'll stand with the feet together for chair pose. On an inhalation, bend the knees as you sit back and extend the arms and spine. Exhale like you're diving, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up. Exhale, lift back. From here, raise your right leg. Inhale. Look forward as we exhale and step that foot in between the hands. Move your left foot over to the left slightly, widening the base of the pose, and then put your heel down. We're going to inhale, come up to warrior one. Let's take a few breaths here, let the pose settle. Keep lifting the back knee as you rotate the hips and upper body forward. The next time you exhale, lean down, release the hands, lift your back heel, step right to down dog. Adjust your stance, lengthen through the arms and spine. When you're ready for the other side, raise your left leg up. Inhale, look forward, exhale, step to that high lunge. Move your right foot over to the right a little, widening the base, then put the heel down and come on up to warrior one. One more deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor. You can go right to down dog, or you can take the second half of the Sun Series. Plant the palms and step to plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push up. Exhale, lift back. Take at least 5 breaths here in down dog. The next time you inhale, look forward. Exhale, step up to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's bring the feet together, returning to chair pose. Bend the knees and sit back. Inhale, extend the arms and spine. Exhale, stand. Release the arms by your sides. Gently close your eyes. Standing here in mountain pose. Try and consciously slow down the exhalation phase of your breath. And notice how your whole body feels. And once the breath feels calm again, you can float the eyes open. We're going to take a standing balance posture, so balancing pigeon pose. We're going to start with the feet about hip width apart. Bend the knees slightly, and before we even cross the leg, let's send the hip joints back and already find this forward tilt of the pelvis. So it's very similar to chair pose in that way. I'm going to stand on my left leg first, so I'm going to cross the right ankle to the left thigh. Maybe reach down and help place it so it's really in the center of my thigh muscle. And then gently press the right knee away from the face, exactly like we did when we were lying down in the back, warming up. Good, and then we want the hip joints to go even farther back. So send them to whatever is behind you, the wall or the space behind you, as you lean your upper body forward and engage your lower back here to draw the spine in. We shouldn't feel any of our vertebra poking out. We want to keep this normal lumbar curvature in the spine. And then if you can, press the palms together in front of your heart and find one focal point to concentrate on here. If you want a deeper hip stretch, try bending the knee you're standing on a bit more. So the lower we go, we bring the upper body closer to the legs. It's just like when we're doing this on the back, when we hug the leg into the upper body. So you're going to feel that deeper stretch in your outer right hip. And if you haven't stood up yet, go ahead and come out of the pose. Maybe shake out the hips a little bit, rocking them side to side. Let that release. And I'll face forward for this version so you see something a bit different. Let's stand with the feet hip width apart. Bend the knees a little bit. Hip joints are going to go back already so we get the appropriate tilt of the pelvis. I'm going to stand on my right leg, so carefully cross the left ankle to the thigh. Reach down and help bring it into the center of that muscle and press the knee away from you. Good, and now I want my hip joints to go even farther back. So as those go farther back, my upper body leans forward, and I'm kind of feeling for that strength in the lumbar. There's no rounding in the lower back. And then you can take the palms together and just focus on one point, keeping the breath flowing freely. And if you choose, bending the knee you're standing on more to intensify the stretch. Good, if you haven't stood up yet, slowly come out of the pose, uncross the leg, and then just again, shake it out a little bit here. All right, we're going to take a wide-legged stance. So separate your feet about as wide apart as your yoga mat. Heels are going to turn out slightly, big toes turn in. Good, not quite as wide apart as the mat, about as wide apart as the warrior pose. Excuse me. We're going to hold the hands here at the waist and take a wide-legged forward bend. Glide your shoulders and elbows back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, send the hip joints back just like the previous pose. Upper body forward with a nice straight spine. Once you get a little lower than your own hip joints, then we can let the upper back round, allowing the head to drop. Let's keep the hands here at the waist for a few breaths and just work on the strength of the upper back by rolling the shoulder blades in toward the spine. Try and keep the legs straight, pressing against the big toe and the inner heel, lifting the knees by engaging your quads. And then gently lower your hands to the floor. If they don't touch the floor, you can place blocks here underneath instead. Take a few more breaths here in the fold. And then on an inhalation, we're going to come to the flat back position. Lift your chest and walk your hands forward to straighten your spine parallel to the floor. Feel your lumbar muscles get really active to draw the spine in. We're going to take a twist here, left palm underneath your face, right hand to the waist as we rotate using the strength of the core. So draw from the navel up your spine. And you can keep the right hand here or you can reach that arm up. Take one more breath in and exhale, unwind the twist, finding the flat back position. And the right palm's going to stay on the floor. Rotate from your navel up the spine and extend the left arm up if that works. If that's tight in the shoulder, you can hold your hip here instead. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. Good, look over at your front foot, whichever one is facing your screen. Walk your hands there toward the front of the mat, rotate that foot forward, and end up in a lunge position. Once you're in the lunge, you can bring the back knee gently to the floor. So we're going to take a twist and an optional quad stretch here. The left palm's going to stay down. We're going to, again, rotate from the navel up the spine as you reach the right arm up. And then let your right arm fall back in space. Palm facing open to whatever side you're looking at. And then if you'd like to try the quad stretch, bend your left knee and see if that foot can come into the hand. If it's not there, or if you have to lean forward and get rid of your twist to grab the foot, then don't worry about that today. Just keep the arm reaching back. Good. Wherever you are in this pose, keep pushing down strongly against your left hand. You want that shoulder very active and supporting the upper body. And take a few more breaths here. If you have the back foot, gently let go of it. And then we're all going to circle that arm up and back down outside of the right foot. Good. Lift your back knee up. And from here, just step back to downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, start alternating, bending each knee a few times as you rock the hips side to side, straightening the opposite leg. And we'll just step the left foot forward from here so we get that other side. Gently lower the right knee to the floor, finding your low lunge. We'll take that twist. Right palm's going to stay on the mat. Rotate and extend up with the left arm. Good. Start to let the left arm fall back in space so it's parallel to the floor. Palm facing open here. And then optionally, you can try the quad stretch on this side. Bend your back knee, and if it just lands in the hand, you can take it. If it's not quite there, just keep reaching back. Good. Keep that strong energy through the right arm. Shoulders very active, supporting the pose. Good. If you have the foot, gently let go of it. And then we're all going to circle this arm back up, over, and down. Good. Lift the back knee up, and again, step back and lift to down dog. And then alternate again, pedaling the knees a few times, really letting the hips rock side to side. Good, and then we can lower the knees to the floor. Let's take child's pose. Untuck the toes, sit back on your heels, and let your upper body come forward and down. Allow your shoulders and your arms to relax. Close the eyes here and just take a few breaths to notice how you feel in your body at this point. And once the breath feels calm again, float the eyes open. I'm going to have you sit up. We're going to take two kneeling postures, gate pose and camel pose. So if you'd like to have some extra support for your knees, or you have a really thin mat, you can fold up your mat a few times or lay a blanket out in front of you. I'm just going to face this direction so you can see gate pose a little better. So we start by kneeling with the hip joints right in line over the knees. And we're going to step the right leg out to the side. If this is difficult to do from a kneeling position, you can be in table first and step the foot out there and then bring yourself back up, okay? So right leg is out to the side, kind of like warrior two. So we've got that angle at the foot and strong active energy up the thigh. You can let your right hand rest there on the leg. We're going to reach the left arm up and really lengthen through that side. And then on an exhalation, start to laterally bend, leaning down toward your straight leg. You can gently walk the hand down, but keeping the left hip in line over the knee here. Good, and if you have any discomfort in your lower back, use the strength of your glutes to pull your tailbone down, kind of pressing the pelvis forward so that you lengthen your lumbar a little bit more. Good, keep the breath deep. A few more here. The next time you inhale, lift back up. We're going to take a variation. Exhale, lean down and put the left hand on the mat. Bring the right hand to the waist and roll the right rib cage back so the body is nice and open. We're going to squeeze the outer hips and thigh and lift the straight leg up off of the ground. Good. If you can, reach the right arm up, coming into balance here. Good, release the right leg to the floor and lift yourself up again. Good, release the arms. Step this knee down, or you can lean down to table if that's challenging. And we'll take the other side. So kneeling again, left leg out to the side. Right hip is in line over the right knee. Good, straight and active through the left leg, hand can rest there. Inhale, raise the right arm and really reach up through that side. Then we're going to exhale, lateral bend here. Just gently walking the hand down the leg as you lean over and reach the arm over your face, away from the hip. The next time you inhale, let's lift back up and then variation. Exhale, lean down, put the right hand underneath your shoulder, left hand to the waist and open the body, left rib cage rolling back. And then squeeze your outer hips, lift the straight leg up off the mat and raise the left arm. Good, exhale, lower that foot and then lift yourself back up and release. Good, let's step that knee down. I'm gonna face the side for this one. We're gonna take camel pose. So again, we want the hip joints in line over the knees And in this back bend, I want you the whole time to maintain a tuck of the pelvis. So we're gonna do a sort of a posterior tilt, which might not make sense at first, but it's gonna help us put the back bend higher up in the spine so that we're not putting it all in the lumbar. So find that tuck, uses the strength of your glutes and hamstrings, and really keep that going the whole time. Palms are gonna come together with the thumbs meeting each other somewhere near your sacrum, fingers fanning out to the sides. Roll your shoulder blades and elbows together, and we're gonna gently press the hips forward in space as we lean the shoulders back in space. Just little by little. So we always wanna keep the hips over the knees. And so each time we feel the shoulders and upper body go farther back, we wanna let the hips go farther forward to balance those two actions. Good, on an inhalation, slowly lift yourself back up, and let's sit down on the heels. Let your arms and shoulders relax for a few breaths. We're gonna repeat that once more. So this time, if you like, you can attempt to reach for your heels instead of keeping your hands at the hips. But if that already felt pretty challenging and intense, you can keep the hands at your hips the whole time. When you feel ready for camel pose again, go ahead and lift yourself up, kneeling with the hips over the knees. And if you tuck your toes, the heels will be a little bit easier for you to reach since they're slightly higher off the floor. We're gonna tuck the tailbone down, bring the hands together at the back of the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades and elbows back. As you lean the shoulders back, gently press your hips forward. Just little by little, deep stretch in the front of the abdomen. Make sure you can breathe. And don't push it. If you get to a point where you need to stop, just let that be your pose today. If you can reach the feet, take one hand and then the other. If your hands are at the feet, bring them back to the hips. And then we're all going to slowly lift up from the chest, drawing the hips back over the knees, untuck the toes, and sit down on the heels. Let the arms and shoulders relax. Just take a few breaths here, letting the spine return to its neutral position. And then we're going to take a lateral child's pose. We're going to move slowly going forward. So lean your upper body down and put the hands on the floor. And then walk your hands over to the left side of your mat, creating a C curve in the spine. And then slowly lower your body down toward the ground. Let your head and neck drop. And take several breaths here. And lift yourself back up. Walk your hands through the center of your mat and then over to the right side. And then gently lower your upper body toward the floor. Let your head and neck drop. And then lift your head, walk your arms back through the center. Lower yourself down and wrap the arms around the legs, letting your hands rest by the feet. And let your shoulder blades separate apart and melt down toward the floor. Let's take 5 slow, deep breaths here in our regular child's pose. after those 5 breaths, take your hands in front of the knees and press yourself upright. We're going to take a few seated postures, so if you'd like to elevate your hips and sit on something to come away from the floor a little bit, it's going to make our forward bends especially a bit easier. And we're going to start this morning with a wide-legged forward bend. It's a little bit more challenging than the regular pose with the legs together, so if you'd like to just take the regular version, that is perfectly fine. So once you're sitting, we're going to separate the legs if you're doing the wide-legged version of the pose, and lift yourself upright as tall as you can through your spine. We're just going to stay upright for a few breaths. I want you to energize through the legs. You should feel your upper thighs contract to help extend the knees, and then reach all the way out through your heels. Good. So our primary goal here is first lengthening the spine. And if the hamstrings are really tight, you're probably already feeling a stretch just by doing this. And so you don't need to fold forward if this is already challenging. You can work on the upright version of the pose. If you're going to the forward fold, I want you to try rotating the pelvis forward without bending your low back. And so you can even take your hands off the floor and just see if you can shift your body weight forward and maybe even reach around the back. Feel that your lumbar is still nice and long as you do this. Right? So that's our action, the whole pelvis rotating forward, little by little coming down. Does not matter how far you can get here. I care more about the correct rotation in the pelvis and maintaining as much length in your lower back as you can. Good, several deep breaths here. Notice how you feel in the back of the neck. If your chin is leading the way, it's going to create some tension in the neck and the shoulders. So just gently tuck the chin toward the chest. And check in with your legs. Try and keep them still active. It's really easy to just let them relax here, especially if you're a really flexible person. It's easy to kind of just go into your flexibility. But when we have such a deep stretch for the hamstrings like this, we want to make sure that the quads are really active. Those are the antagonist muscles there, and it's going to help really protect the attachments of the hamstrings and protect the knees. A few more breaths wherever you are. And on an inhalation, slowly lift yourself upright. Good. Adjust yourself if you're sitting. You sometimes tend to come forward toward whatever you're sitting on. Let's keep the left leg open out to the side. Now have you bend your right knee in. And we're going to take a modified version of nose to knee pose. So the sole of the foot is coming to the inner thigh here, knee open to the side, and I'm going to keep my upper body facing forward instead of toward the straight leg. We're going to take one more side bend here. You can put your left hand down on the straight leg. We're going to inhale and raise the right arm up, and then exhale, just gently side bend, sliding your hand down the straight leg as you reach the right arm over your face, away from the hip. Good. Breathe as deeply as you're able to. And your lower arm position might change depending on how far into a bend you are. Right? So you may need to bend this elbow a little bit if you're pretty far down. It might even be comfortable for you to put that elbow down on the floor instead of on the leg. And the next time you inhale, we're just going to slowly start lifting up, and exhale, release the right arm. Good, just roll the shoulder a few times, let that one go. All right, let's switch legs. We're going to unfold the right leg, and that's going to come out to the side at a wide angle, and let's help bring the left knee in and out to the side, sole of the foot here Coming to the front of the hips, close to the right thigh. Good, I'm facing forward instead of toward the straight leg, which is active again. My right hand's gonna rest on the straight leg. Inhale, raise the left arm up. Exhale, lateral bend. Just gently lean as much as you're able to here. It's just gonna evolve slowly. You may not get as far down as you think you can right away. Keep breathing deeply. And on an inhalation, slowly come on back up. Exhale, release that arm. Roll the shoulders a few times. Good, and then let's bring the soles of both feet together. Knees open out to the side for seated bound angle pose. Hold your ankles or your feet, whatever you comfortably reach. You can adjust yourself on whatever you're sitting on for optimal height. And then lift up nice and tall. Feel your shoulders draw down away from your neck. Engage your lower back to draw the spine in, and squeeze your outer hips and thighs to open the knees a bit more. Good, you can stay right here if this is already really intense, or you can do the forward bend. Gently tuck the chin, pull against your feet or ankles, and lengthen the spine forward and down, just little by little. And if the elbows meet the inner thighs, you can gently press there, much like we did with that lunge variation earlier. So it's not a lot of pressure, but it's just a bit of feedback to help with the range of motion. And when you're ready to come out, inhale, slowly lift upright. Good, let's take the knees back together. You can come off of whatever you may have been sitting on. And I'm gonna have you sit directly on the mat. You can kind of come to the middle of it with your hands behind your back and your feet as wide as the mat. We're gonna drop the knees back and forth a few times, side to side. And the next time your knees drop to the right side of the mat, they can stay down there. Come off of your left hand and twist toward the back of the mat, spacing the palms about shoulder width apart and pushing strongly against them to help you rotate from your navel all the way up the spine. And you can turn your head to the right as well if you like. Take one more deep breath in, and then exhale, gently unwind. Take the left hand behind you and pick the knees up, and then we'll drop them to the left, come off your right hand and twist. Plant the palms shoulder width apart and push against the floor to rotate. Turning the head to the left as well. Nice deep spinal twist. One more deep breath in. Exhale, unwind. Good, take the knees up and bring the feet together. Tuck your chin and hold the back of your thighs. We're gonna slowly roll the spine, one vertebra at a time, all the way down to the ground. And once you are down on your back, bring both knees into your chest and rock a little bit side to side here. Massaging the lower back, and then rock the knees around in a big circle several times in each direction. knees, plant the feet on the floor close to your hips. We're going to take a reclined version of cow-facing posture, which is normally a seated pose. This is a deep stretch for your glutes, your outer hip flexors, and piriformis. We're going to cross the right thigh tightly over the left thigh, squeezing the legs together. Then bring your legs in toward you, and at first you can hug the knee to the chest. If this is already a stretch, you don't really need to go any farther if you're feeling it in the outer hip of the right leg. If you want a little bit more, lift your upper body and reach forward and take the heels into your hands. And once you have that, lie back down and try and bring the heels toward your face. And that's going to really deepen the stretch in the outer right hip and glute. You can also experiment with trying to lift the feet up a little bit away from the floor. That can also deepen the stretch. Good. One more deep breath in. And then slowly lower the heels, let go as you exhale. Good. Let's uncross the thighs. I'm going to have you plant your feet about hip width apart and just lift your hips up to stretch the front of the hip flexors. Just a low bridge pose. It does not have to be very high to make it a back bend. Just want to lengthen the psoas and the inner thighs a little bit. Because while it's a great stretch for the outer hip, it really contracts the inner thighs. Good, let's roll down and let it release. And then feet together, cross your left thigh as tightly as you can over the right thigh. And then bring the legs in toward you. And at first you can just reach forward and hug the knees and shins in. And if that's already intense, you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, lift your head and shoulders, reach forward and take the heels in your hands. Right, lie back down once you have that, and you're going to gently lift the feet and draw the heels closer to your face as you return your head and shoulders to the floor. You should be feeling this in the outer left hip and glute if the left leg is the one crossed in front. Just try and breathe into that intensity. And if you need to back off, you lower the feet. If you want more, you press them against the hands and raise them up a little bit. Good. The next time you exhale, slowly release, let go, uncross the legs, plant your feet hip width apart, and again, just raise the hips and the lower back for just a low bridge pose to stretch the front of the hip flexors here. Couple of breaths. Most of the upper back on the ground so we don't create a back bend or really increase the energy in the body right now as we're winding down. Good, and then roll the spine down to the floor. We're going to take one final pose here, a reclined twist. Slide your left leg down to the mat and bring your right knee in, not too close to you. And then we're going to cross it over the body, letting the right arm float out to the side to counter the leg. As the knee crosses over, slide your bottom hip over to the right side of the mat a few inches and see if that gives you a bit more rotation. Just letting that bent knee melt down toward the floor. You can close the eyes if you like, either facing the head straight up toward the ceiling or turning the head to the right. One more deep breath in. And exhale, unwind that twist. Bend your knees and plant the feet on the floor so you can adjust your hips. Let the spine settle for a moment. And then when you're ready, switch sides. Right leg down, left knee comes in, not too close, and cross it over for the twist as you float the left arm out to counter. Slide the bottom hip over to the left a few inches and let your whole body melt into this shape. And the next time you exhale, gently unwind. Plant your feet on the ground and adjust your hips to that center point below your shoulders. Just pause here a few breaths to let your spine find its natural curvatures again. Let your rib cage and low back relax. And then think about how you would be most comfortable for our final relaxation, Shavasana. If there are any layers of clothing that you'd like to put on to stay warmer, or any props that you'd like to use to support your body, go ahead and gather what you need to be completely comfortable. I'm gonna get myself a little sweater. And then take any comfortable reclined position. And I'm just going to guide you through a brief body relaxation. So once you feel settled, gently close your eyes and take a moment to let your body find stillness in the shape that you're in. If you need to make any adjustments to your position, do that now so that you're not distracted by the desire to move later on. And once you've found that stillness in the body, take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Feel your lower jaw release and allow your throat and your tongue to relax, and let your normal breathing return. So let go of the focus and attention on the breath and that consciously deeper, slower breath. And take a moment to scan through your whole body, starting with awareness around the head and neck, just scanning for any remaining active energy that you might notice. And if you do notice any, just keep your attention on that spot and see if it can just gradually melt away with a few calm breaths. Working your way from the head and neck, maybe to the shoulders and the upper back. Letting there be a heaviness as every muscle releases and the shoulders drop into the floor. Scanning down the arms, all the way to the tips of the fingers. Letting the elbows and the wrists feel heavy and relaxed. And scanning down your spinal column from the base of the neck all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. And letting every muscle that attaches at your spine just start to relax into the floor. Bring the awareness to the rib cage and the abdomen. Just letting it rise and fall naturally with the breath. And feeling a heaviness through the pelvis. And begin to scan down the legs, letting go of any active energy in the thighs, the calves, letting the knees and the ankles feel relaxed. Feeling that energy move out through the tips of the toes. And enjoy these next few minutes of total rest for the body and quiet for the mind. Slowly bring your attention back to the surface and lengthen your breath. And in your own time, begin to move gently through the fingers and the toes, just starting to wake up your body. Little movements, turning into any other stretch that would feel good to you right now. And then gradually bend your knees and make your way to one side of the body, curling up into a fetal pose. And just pause there briefly to notice how you feel right now after Shavasana and after today's practice. Notice the energy in your body. And stay with that feeling as you come upright again. Try and keep the eyes closed if you can and just feel your way into a comfortable seat. And once you are sitting, energize your posture by lengthening up through the spine. Start to breathe even more deeply, just to help with that transition away from deep rest. Let your inhalations expand across the front of the body. And let your exhalations release down through the shoulders. And we'll end chanting Om one time. If you'd like to join me, bring the palms together in front of the heart and take a deep breath in. Exhale and gently bow ahead acknowledging yourself for making time and space to practice this morning, and expressing gratitude to your own body for all the support and help it gives each and every day. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this session, and I hope to see you again tomorrow morning for Yoga Lab on the warrior poses.